Hello and welcome everyone, a new episode of To The Point. Today we are going to discuss tourism, this vital sector in our economy, and the ups and downs according to many global issues. First, it was the COVID-19, then the repercussions of the Ukrainian-Russian war, and a lot of things which we are going to see if they really had their negative impacts on us, or there are some light by the end of the tunnel. But before we start, let me first welcome my dear guest live here in the studio, our expert who is going to answer all our questions, Mr. Waleed Batouty, the ambassador of the WFTJA for tour guides, who is the only Egyptian who was appointed for the position in recognition, of course, to his 30 years serving as a tour guide, not only here in Egypt, but worldwide. And in addition to that, he was the advisor of the Ministry of Tourism for such a long time. Thank you very much for being with us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
It's always an honor to have you on Now TV International.
The honor is mine. Thank you.
Let's start with some statements or some statistics, to be accurate, because I really love numbers, and statistics never lie. Well, Egypt's tourism revenues hiked to $8.2 billion in 9 months. And this means that we are on the right track after the obstacles I mentioned before in my intro. Do you think that it's really enough, or this is only the start and we do have still a long way to go?
We still have a long way to go. We have to triple and make these numbers multiplied by 10. If you're asking me, it has to. This is our portion of the cake.
Yeah.
Bear in mind that no one has what we have. I was just in a tour in Europe. The weather this year, I mean, it was extremely hot, and plus the humidity. The beaches there cannot be compared with the beaches that we have here. So we do have, and this is a natural thing. I'm not saying that we, something that we did. This is a gift from God. So this is when we talk about fun tourism, which is the biggest portion of the cake of tourism worldwide. It is the fun tourism and the traveling and the beaches and all of this. The culture tourism, no one has the pyramids. We have unbelievable number of antiquities, interesting stories and things like this. Bear in mind that, as you at the beginning mentioned, the COVID. When COVID happened, it hit the world.
Yes.
Every country in the world had their numbers going back to zero, and France was the same as Egypt,
Spain,
everybody. We all went to zero, and there was no foreigners traveling, nothing, except foreigners are here that work for embassies, and most of them even left. So the numbers worldwide went to zeros. Egypt was very smart at that time and moved very fast. This is, we have to say the good things and the bad things as well. We moved very fast, and we used the highest tech that it's around the world, which is the social media. And we told everyone we're cleaning up, we're getting ready. I personally participated with the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquity at that time in a campaign says, stay home, stay safe, we'll bring Egypt to you. And we brought some teasers to the people around the world. We're trying to entertain the world because the people had enough. The whole world had enough of watching the numbers of people getting infected, the people and the people dying, and the burial and all of them. The people didn't want to do this, so they started to look for something new, and we were ready to entertain the world by saying, hey, we just discovered we had a big discovery then in October, I think, and another one in December. It was 2 months apart, two big discoveries in Saqqara with coffins and mummies, and we brought the cameras in.
I think this was the very first time we had mummified cats.
That was in between. The mummified cat went into also a big TV show as well. No, yes, you're right, the mummified cats, but before that, we invited, the way we attracted the international media and their representatives over here is we invited them.
The ambassadors also.
And the ambassadors, you're absolutely right. And we said, listen, come, and we're going to open a coffin.
And the first factory of beer.
And the first factory.
Yes, I can remember.
This is the interesting stories
Yes,
today.
yes.
You know, the pyramid, yes, beautiful. But people want to see today a new thing. Tell me about the factory of beer. Tell me about wine. Tell me about cheese making in ancient Egypt time. It's a very interesting stories. Tell me about makeup.
Yes.
Women.
About jewelry, about the colors, about everything which remained intact for thousands of years.
And then we had Dr. Zay Hawass coming up with watch the picking of the wording and the title, The Lost City. It's like the things that comes in the movies.
Yep.
So it attracts the people worldwide. They want to sit and watch. Then when we do things like this, we have to take an advantage. Okay? We have to take an advantage of it. So we did gain a good number. Okay? Our problem is that people are still competing against each other over here by taking the prices down.
Yeah.
The issue, the people around the world wants to travel. They want to go. And they want to have a new thing. Let's forget about the past. Let's forget that me and you have a hotel, I have a hotel, and I go and tell them, whatever you are offering them, I will give you 10% less. No, we want to go up. We want to give a good service.
Marketing is something very much different.
And
propaganda also, and social media, all of this. But since you mentioned all these, let's say, sources of attraction, and things which we are really lucky to have, but there was another piece of, let's say, news which I was really sad when I read it. Egypt ranks 9th among the most attractive 17 tourism sites or hubs according to Travel Awaits. Why 9th among 17? Why not the first? Why not the second? Why not among the first 3, not the first 10?
We have to.
Is that hard?
Yes, we have to explain to the people of Egypt the importance of tourism.
Okay.
This has to be taught in school.
Sure.
This has to be understood, and this has to be taken and swollen by all the people of Egypt.
I agree.
That tourism is for all of us, right? The hard currency comes into the country, makes the country able to do this and that. You know, we have to change a lot of things. We cannot keep the tourist in the hotel, that sites finish close at 4 o'clock. No. Why don't we make the sites close at 8 o'clock, especially in the summer? It's hot. Make them go to the museum in the evening. Why not? Why don't we have all the tourists waiting by? This is my dream, and I always come on Nile TV International hoping that maybe somebody can hear me and see this. Why can't we say that when it goes dark by 8 o'clock, okay, by 9 o'clock, we're going to have the show. Remember in the parade of the golden mummies, the excuse me, when we did the parade of the golden mummies, the unbelievable show, lighting, it's lamps.
Yeah.
And it was done in Tahrir Square on the obelisk with the music and all of this. Why can't we do this and announce it? I'll be greedy to say I want it every day. And I want the tourist to go and stand, let's say from 8 o'clock, because the show starts at 9. Between 8 and 9, they can buy the soda, some water, have a coffee, sandwich, and let lots of people benefit out of this. Let's make, I mean, I can't say, but I was in Europe. I just came back from Europe, and I was in an amusement park, excuse me, and we were done by 6 o'clock, but the show, the lighting and the laser show, it's going to be at 11. Can you imagine they leave you between 6 and 11 to drink, eat, go to the souvenir shops, wait, and you're spending money. All what you're doing is just spending money. And as the time goes by, I remember, I think I drank 4 or 5 bottles of water.
Yeah.
Okay? And, excuse me, but there was a good bathroom. Because to drink 4 bottles of water and a soda and a tea and a coffee, you need a good bathroom to go. It's not bad if you want to do the bathroom with a coin.
Sir, of course, I do agree with all what you're saying, but I'm here just to represent the other side of the coin. Great. This is great. I mean, the dream or the image you were describing is really great. But also, the tourists here in Cairo or in any other city in Egypt, they are going to enjoy the city itself because they're at their homeland. After 8 p.m., everything is closed. But we are here for 24 hours happy with what we're doing. We as Egyptians, you can just start your night at 10 o'clock or something and you can walk in Cairo just watching everything as if it is in the rush hour.
I'm going to be a diplomatic and I'm going to be very polite, and I will tell you what I've noticed, that the police forces abroad in Europe are passing papers in the street telling you, watch out for pickpocket. We don't have this. We should promote this. We should play on this. We should go around this. I don't know how. You are the expert when it comes to media. You tell us, how can we focus on this, that in Egypt it is safe? And as I said, I want the tourists only to go back to the hotel, like what we do. In the evening, only to sleep. Take a shower and go to sleep, because in the morning I have lots of activities. I don't want the sites closed at 4 and then he's doing nothing. And the only option we have is you send them on a Nile cruise that has a belly dancer and the willing dervish, and that's it. No, I want them to be able to walk in the street and go to the restaurants and go downtown and eat here and have a coffee here and have an ice cream here and spend money. I just want them the whole time spending money. And this is the scenario in Europe. You were right.
Spending money and enjoying themselves.
Exactly. Well, of course, they spend money to enjoy themselves.
I mean, it's not only about spending money. It's living some moments with they are not going to forget ever, and all of them are going to return back to their countries as ambassadors for Egypt, speaking about the nice and lovely things they have experienced here.
I've always been dreaming to have the 4 or I think there is 4 or 5 networks in Egypt today, cell networks. Why don't they offer a free Wi-Fi at the pyramids, in Valley of the Kings, in Hatshepsut Temple, in the Karnak, here and there, in the museum, in the Civilization Museum, free Wi-Fi. So I walk in, and immediately when they take pictures, they air it. I don't want them to wait to go to the hotel. I want the excitement moment while they are in the museum and air live this. Yes, how much this is going to cost? Nothing, because it's airtime. But how much is the benefit of this is coming to the country, because we're getting a live promotion immediately. On the spot, people will be promoting Egypt, talking. Here I am in the Cairo Egyptian Museum, and the Mask of King Tutankhamun still there. This is a promotion. I am in the Civilization Museum, and I can see the statue of this and that. I am enjoying, the weather is not that hot as they say. It's dry heat. Get them to speak, not us. That is very important. Yes, you're absolutely right when you said, are we on the right track? Yes, we are on the right track, but being in the field of tourism, and I'm very greedy, I want more.
We are all very greedy regarding this, and let's say very ambitious. And let's say that we deserve more. But how? This is the question. Since you mentioned pictures and photos, how about the decree which stipulates that Egyptian foreign residents and tourists are allowed to take pictures in public places free of a charge and without obtaining permit? Good. Just good.
It was supposed to be not an issue. There is nothing that we have that we want to hide, okay? In every country around the world, you have this and that, okay? And those who will come with bad intention, there will be one with bad intention, okay? And there will be 5,000 with good intention. As you said the very beautiful word, it made music to my ears when you said enjoying themselves. Those who is enjoying themselves, they love Egypt. And when they love Egypt, they'll be defending and they'll be speaking against those who are coming to say, yes, one went around and showed, some ugly pictures. So what? We're going to have thousands of other pictures coming out. Yes, but to say that Egypt allows, that means that Egypt was preventing, which, of course, me and you, we know what happened. The guy was going down and doing a video, and you know, the security forces thought that he was filming them, which is in lots of other countries around the world, you know, this is not acceptable as well.
Sure. Nobody would allow any tourist to shoot rats in Paris and to show them in a bad way, and this is their right. Defend yourself and defend your country against anyone who had, let's say with these diplomatic words, bad intentions. With good intentions, you are our guest, but with your bad intentions, you are an enemy. This is an equation which I think nobody would differ with me regarding it. But let's speak about the other wonderful side of the coin, since you mentioned two museums, the GEM, the Grand Egyptian Museum, and the Museum of Civilization. But fortunately, we do have other museums, whether held from scratch or renovated in many other places here in Egypt. Myself, I didn't know that there are the royal vehicles, a museum in Sharm el-Sheikh, for example.
No, we have a very beautiful museum in Sharm el-Sheikh. We have a very beautiful museum, but unfortunately did not have its good share of publication.
This is it. I want to shed more light on those museums. No, in Sharm
and Kafr Sheikh.
And Kafr Sheikh.
Kafr Sheikh have a beautiful museum.
What about Al-Minya?
Al-Minya has an unbelievable museum.
This is it.
Sohag has a beautiful museum.
This is it. I want to shed more light on such museums. If you want to just give us such a very brief idea about each. The one, for example, the one of Kafr Sheikh, because it's not that popular till the moment. Inshallah, it's going to be more popular after our episode. And the one in Al-Minya or Sohag.
The one in, let's go to the one in Sharm el-Sheikh. The one in Sharm el-Sheikh is done with a different
prospect.
Yes, it's a private company that opens the museum, build the museum and opens it, and the government gives them the monuments. The monuments is on display there, and they pay for it. They pay for the showing of the objects, okay? But of course the museum gets the benefit of the tickets, get the benefit of the outlets, the cafeterias, and the gift shop, and all of this. We need to do, and they started, they did now, is we need to do a good souvenir of Egypt, okay? Not imported, not imported, cheap imported magnet, no. I don't want this. I want something to be done in Egypt, and already I think the government has a company that does this. Let's use the Civilization Museum as an example. Civilization Museum has an unbelievable, in my opinion, they have an unbelievable management. The management did unbelievable job by going and fetching and seeing that an Egyptian lady can do a doll, okay? Egyptian style doll with an Egyptian theme of an Egyptian queen. They said, welcome, come. Put your products over here, we'll sell it for you, and they will get a percentage. I don't know the deal of the business, but they have given chances for Egyptian products, okay? And I promoted myself, and I tell the tourists, if you really want to get something made in Egypt, by an Egyptian woman, handmade, this is not a machine made, here it is. It could be a little bit expensive, but to be honest with you.
Expensive for who? Expensive for a tourist?
Exactly.
Of course not.
Okay,
but
for the tourist, no, it's not.
Since you mentioned this, I'm interested into sports, okay? And when I knew that one of the very important and prestigious squash championship was made in front of the Museum of Civilization, I was very proud. And I knew that this is what we call perfect management, because this is to have this mix between cultural tourism and sports tourism. Exactly. Tell me one of those visitors who came here to watch squash, how they are going to turn back without watching the mummies and without telling their families or relatives or whoever about what they have experienced here in Egypt.
And not only that, all the tourists that was walking during the preparation, they've all been asking, what is this? Oh, that's a squash tournament that's going to be here. Can we come back? Yes, it's open. it's a promotion. I'm giving, I still, with my 31 years in tourism, I don't see that the tourists after 4 o'clock in Egypt has something interesting. It used to be just go to the Sound and Light show, and then what I'm going to do tomorrow. I want
to downtown, to Khan al-Khalili, to
okay,
the coffees there, to drink our Oriental Kirkadi or
but you know what?
whatever.
I want them to dine, to be able to go to strips of restaurants and to dine and to you know, I don't want to mention the name. There is lots of places in Egypt that has very fine dining, expensive dining. I don't and good food, good experience. Okay, this is when people they say there is some places now, and today the media, the internet allows the people, if the people are smart, those who open business now, they know how to promote themselves and they know how to be on the internet, and people can get to these places because, you know, there is applications now can make things for you easier. But I want, I dream for my country that the taxi service, I say that public taxi is available with the meter is working and air conditioned, and the driver just gets the meter, whatever it is, and no smoking in the car, okay, because this smoking when you have a client in the car, that's a crime.
Amen.
It's a crime, okay? I hope in the future tourists will be able to use the subway, because me and you abroad, when we travel, we use the subway easy, and we use the buses easy.
And even the electric train, and I think this is going to be, inshallah, it's coming. And by
I'm
the way,
optimistic about this one.
Since you mentioned this museum being run by private sector, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said it bluntly in many occasions, and he said that the Grand Egyptian Museum is going to be run by a private sector company, meaning the private sector is totally welcomed to participate, to share, and to have this even lion share when it comes to some fields which they are better in, which they can do a lot to serve the economy of this country. Sir, you mentioned also, or we mentioned Upper Egypt. You said that other places, they do not have the permits, they do not have Luxor. In my humble opinion, or my dreams, they do not have San al-Hagar, they do not have Tun al-Jabal, they do not have al-Matariya, for example. I dream that our tourism map is to be richer than that, and
transportation.
Build it and they'll come. The infrastructure and the roads network right now, I think they are going to enable us to have this tourism map without any delay. Do we have other obstacles?
No, but we're not done yet. For example, let me give you an example. I was in the syndicate of guides today, which is in Dahir. It used to take me 2 hours to go to Maadi. 1 hour, 45 minutes to 2 hours. Today, because I was there and then I went to do something and I went home to change, it took me 21 minutes without a single traffic light. Without a single traffic light. It's all open highway. I went to Maadi.
You passed by the lake of Ain al-Sira?
No, I used the new bridge.
I wanted you just to describe this place for me, because I'm dying to go there and to see it myself. By the way,
it's still. I heard it's gonna get even a lot better. Okay, they're working on it. Then, as I said, I'm a person who enjoy the network of roads. Okay, because to me, if I could drive more, but I don't want to be stopped.
Yep.
So there is new network today. All what we need, by the way, is to change the behavior of the Egyptian in driving. And this will not happen except if we do one thing. We put a very strict, strong punishment for those who back up on highways, for those who drive on the opposite direction, for those who do traffic violation, for those who moves in lines because they're here and there. It could be done, by the way.
Yes,
it could be done, because I believe that not long ago, I saw the Egyptian in downtown Tahrir. And I'll tell you a very funny story because I did it myself. They were like Europe. They're standing, waiting for the traffic light, and when it turns green, the pedestrians. And they did cross the street. And I deliberately, I'm on television, live on air, confessing that I did it deliberately. I crossed from the wrong place and I got caught. And the officer came to me and he says, here's a ticket. And I paid the ticket. And he said, you were testing us. He saw the smile on my face. I said, yes, I'm happy. I'm happy to see my country is going on order. So it could be done. I'm dreaming it could be done. You know, I dream for my country. I see for my country. I wish that, for example, this is a dream, and I hope that somebody would hear this, that the signs for the highways, it could be 500 meters earlier, because usually it's right on the exit. So it gives the people the right sometimes to back up on a highway. But now we have 8 lanes highways, and we have network of
Free highways.
And roads. And I heard someone told me there will be a beautiful network of buses, public transportation, which already there is some now with air conditioning and Wi-Fi.
And Wi-Fi.
And the price is, yes, I understand the price is a little bit high, but it could move a number of people from the city. Let me tell you something, if I may, something very personal. My daughter now, we're going in an argument over, she wants to buy a scooter. No, you know, the little...
Bike. Electric bike.
It's okay. You know, the long stick because it's all over Europe now, and I wish I can allow her to do this, but I'm afraid that one of those people who does the wrong move could hit her, because in a car she's protected.
In a way.
In a way.
Yeah.
We could get there. As I told you, I gave you an example, and I was very tricky by giving the example. As I said, it did happen before. The Minister of Interior at a certain time says no one is going to cross except from the right place, otherwise you pay a penalty. When the Egyptian did this, okay. We were like Europe. And at that time, I had an office in downtown, so I used to spend hours watching the people waiting. It goes green, they cross. Red, they stop. It's beautiful, and no one is crossing between the streets. These are the little things that we can do. We can do. Trust me. If we put an order as well for the new country, this is the
new republic.
The new republic.
Yeah.
Okay. This has to come with it.
Yes. Sure.
Everywhere. This is what I dream for my country. This is what I dream for Egypt. I'm a dreamer. I'm a person who wants...
I also do.
Perfection.
Simply, when I was asking you about the tourism map, I mentioned places which I don't think that much of they are as famous as Luxor, Aswan. With my job and with my readings, when I saw some pictures of this Tun al-Jabal and with San al-Hagar, because I'm coming from one of the Delta governorates, so I know that San al-Jabal is the Thebes of the Delta. And if we do have the right propaganda, the right marketing, the right management of such places, it's going to turn to be another Luxor, but there. Anyways.
In the past, I used to do Tel Basta.
Tel Basta.
Okay. We used to go there a lot. And yes, the roads were, I know it's much better now. But
much better. Yes.
but the roads were very difficult. But the people, those are specialist groups that wanted to go there. Yes, we need to emphasize on Armenia, as you said, even though, to give you a good news, it started.
Yes.
It started. And my colleague Hussam, when I was abroad, he had an Italian group and 3 or 4, small number. They told them, we want to go to Armenia. And he said, excuse me? Yep. Repeat again. And they said, Armenia. They went over there. They drove, they went there, they visited, they came back in the evening. We could do this, and we could do it the one night or 2 nights, because Armenia could take more than 2-3 nights. Egypt, everywhere you go. Egypt, as I say.
I always say this, under each stone you would find something different,
Yes.
related to us.
Yes.
And we should be that proud of being Egyptians. We should be that proud of being the grandchildren of those great ancestors, and to maintain, to preserve their civilization, because it really deserves.
When I was in Europe, when I was in Europe, whenever I stood in a line, I always found a way of picking on people and talking to people, because we stand in lines a lot.
Yes.
So, where are you from? I'm from Egypt. Oh my God! And people would start to say, Egipto, Egypt. I visit 3 countries, and they all want to come. Or they said, I've been and I want to go again. I've been and I want to go again. I boarded a ship when I was in Europe to do the Mediterranean ports. One of the cab drivers, there was no language, there was a language barrier. He speaks Spanish, I speak only English. But the minute he knew I'm from Egypt, he pulled out his phone and he started running into pictures, old pictures. And he was showing me a picture of, listen to this, a towel that was made by the housekeeping in his cruise ship. I immediately told him that this isn't a cruise ship. And he was jumping up and down trying to show me that when he went into his room, he found the housekeeping did something with the towels and put his sunglasses, and how excitement that he's now talking to me through pictures. Showed me his picture inside the pyramid. And he says, I went inside the pyramid. That was my dream since I understood all of this. This was the language that we understood, because we used a lot of hands. Egypt is the dream of every child as they go to 3rd grade. You know why? This is because you said numbers. This is real statistic. That when they go to 3rd grade and they start learning about the triangle, always teachers worldwide, China, the United States, Canada, Cambodia, anywhere in the world, they use a picture of the pyramids and tell them. And always the kids are very curious, and they say, one day when I grow up, I want to go to Egypt. And it stays in their mind. And then
subconscious keep on telling them.
1976, King Tutankhamun went to the United States of America. The collection of King Tutankhamun, complete collection, went to the US in 1976. And there was a singer called Steve Martin, made a song, King Tut, born in Arizona, moved to Babylon. And since that day, and people queued 6 hours. Today, I have people, they are 60 and 65 and 70 and 75 years. They come to me on tours and they say, Waleed, when I was young, I queued online 6 hours to see the King Tut mask. I say, now there is no queues. Go in, he's right there. Go and see it, go enjoy it. You're in Egypt, you know, and here we go. Can you imagine that the exhibits that went abroad were benefiting out of it till today?
Sure.
Till today, okay? I heard that Jim will also open some live cameras, so with other museums around the world, and people could see. I hope we could do this. Today, there is not a single person I met in my tour in Europe did not say, I want to go to Egypt, I want to go to the Civilization. Now the Civilization Museum has a very strong name. A large number of people used to mistake and think that the Civilization was Jim. Now, no, they differentiate and they understand that the Civilization Museum is the museum where all the mummies and the heritage of Egypt throughout time. The Civilization Museum now, I attended 2-3 months ago, the flamingo dance. So now they want to come, they abroad want to come and show their culture in our museums, okay, because they know that we are center of a good promotion to all of them. And the Civilization Museum, as good as when it was opened, okay, exactly like the day it was open, it is still running like a Swiss watch. Everything is on time, everything is perfect, everything is clean, air condition is working, everything is fine. We can do it.
We can do it.
As you said, if we pitch for the right management, and as His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, he says, welcome to the private sector, come. You want to, because the government cannot do everything alone.
And there is no government in the whole world who can do on its own. All with the private sector has its share, especially in some fields. But you mentioned two things. Number one, King Tut, which I really was thinking about how this is going to be celebrated with 100 years since Howard Carter did it. And number two, 200 years of founding Egyptology. And this is something which I think we are going to celebrate next month, inshallah, in September.
You're absolutely right. Let me talk about the last one first.
Yeah.
200 years of Egyptology. Bear in mind that many years, not many years ago, but the Egyptian world famous Egyptologist Dr. Zahi Hawass managed to put the Egyptian on the track and on the map. And now the excavations of the Egyptians are more productive than the foreign. We used to have the French, the Polish, the American, the British, here and there, you know, all over the world, the knowledge of Egyptology. Now we have Egyptian teams and Egyptian archaeologists who's working and digging and finding things, and it's a pure Egyptian work.
Amen.
Okay? This has to be done with a big spend. We need to spend money on it to gain money. Okay?
And it's a win-win situation by all means. Yeah.
If you agree with me that we need to spend money
Yeah.
to make a big thing out of it, okay? King Tut, only God knows how big is the celebration that because it's going to be once. It's 100 year, you know. When it's 200 years, we're not going to be around.
Yeah.
When it's 150 years, we're not going to be around. So I'm saying is, it is the chance. It came to us now. It's in our hand, and we now we can do it, and we don't need foreigners to come and do it, because we saw the parade of the golden mummies. The second, there was not a fraction of a second different in timing. The opera was playing in Ain al-Sira.
No, it was
When the excuse me, when the military band was playing in Tahrir Square, my heart was about to stop when I was watching this, especially that I know there's a big difference in time. How could they synchronize this? And they were very honest when they said some of these footage we filmed it
were
before.
recorded before. Yes.
Perfection. Perfection. And they build stations for international TV and international media, because we have to give them the space. All right? We have to do the whole thing, and we have to understand. Today, when people, everyone has in his hand a machine that he can talk to the world. Today you can film yourself and say, hello, hi, I am standing right now in Tahrir Square, and the whole world will watch it. I remember when I guided the famous actor Will Smith. He said, I will write a post, okay, and the whole world will see it. Yes, it had hit 22 million within an hour.
Yeah.
22 million people saw his post and they liked it in no time. You know, we should make benefit of the visitors with their permission, because sometimes they are traveling.
Sure.
Okay, and I experienced this. Some of them, they say, it's my holiday. No, I'm not here to promote Egypt. Okay, you know, in a nice way. You can always gently ask them to take a picture and air it, to do this, to say a nice word, if they like. Okay, we should not force them to do this.
Sure.
And they do sometimes. Most of them, when they get engaged, they love it, they want to do it. And then we have to give them something special, a special opening, this and that. In return, win-win, as you said, win-win situation, especially that those people are celebrities and they have followers. We have a gift from God. Salah, the Egyptian, look, there's nobody that sings to Messi or to Ronaldo with the nationality of his country, but the only one,
The Egyptian king.
the Egyptian king. And he goes, you know, when he goes and does this to them in the stadium, I always love, I mean, I wish for him all the best, and I wish for him to score 10 goals a day in every game. But when he does this, he's telling the people, yes, please sing for me. He wants to hear the Egyptian king. This is a beautiful promotion. Everybody leaves from the stadium that day talking about the Egyptian. The Egyptian. This is a gift from God. We did not write the song. The song was written in England by British. Good for him, good for us. Let's benefit out of this. I would love to have the Egyptian king, the #1 celebrity, to be.
He is already nominated to be in the short list of the Ballon d'Or, and we wish him the best of luck, of course. Messi is missing, by the way, this year, first time since 2005, I think.
I want him to be in the opening of Gym, and I want I want them
according to his schedule, but this is an invitation. Mo, please consider being here in the opening ceremony of the Gym or the Grand Egyptian Museum. We hope that this is going to be in your schedule from now.
And I hope we can auction, international auction.
We're
of the first,
of
the first 1,000 ticket. Of the first 1,000 ticket of Gym is to be in an international auction by the foot of the pyramids. Let's have an auction live by the foot of the pyramids. You're making media. That's the whole thing. And why not? We can flew Mo Salah, if his schedule, you're right, if his schedule permits, with some of the celebrities, and we can give the whole team of Liverpool an entry to the Gym with the Egyptian king. Why not?
I'm going to be there, inshallah. Well, Mr. Waleed al-Batouty, I really enjoyed my time and I enjoyed our discussion, and we are going to leave you, sir, with a promise to see you again in more episodes and on Nile TV International screen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The pleasure's mine.
Well, we were very much delighted to have with us live here in the studio our tourism expert, Mr. Waleed al-Batouty, the ambassador of the WFTGA for tour guides. By this, we come to the end of this episode of To The Point. We'll meet again same time on Nile TV International. Many thanks for watching. This was Nirmina Abdurrahman.